Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild, CLO Spiritual Foundation. I am Debbie G, and this is Michelle G.
Hello, everyone. So excited to do something together. This is great.
Yeah, tonight's going to be a really great night. We're going to be talking about all things abundance with one of the most extraordinary gentlemen we have brought on in a very, very long time. He's super exciting, super innovative, with techniques that are going to be super easy peasy for you to implement in your life to have the life that you want. And that's really the most important thing, is that you're living the life that you want. But really quick, I'm going to hand
Really
this over to
appreciate the
Michelle.
opportunity to talk about my book. I'm real excited too. You guys are exciting. I love it. Let's get excited.
Talk about being magnetic. And
Right.
when I think of magnetic, I think of, something we are attracting and how exciting that is. But the thing is that you've really taken this to a deeper level. And what I want to know is, what sparked G vibe? What was it that said, that's it? That's my spark. That's my vibe.
Well, how did I start this magnetic journey? It was the pandemic that set it off. Before the pandemic, I was a hero, and then the pandemic struck and became a zero because I lost my businesses. I lost everything. I became in debt, the tune of six figures, facing eviction. And although I was wealthy on the outside, I still felt empty. And the reason why I felt empty, because I felt like I didn't have enough. And that comes down to one thing. Society often, we work on external wealth. There's a difference, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So when we focus on our external wealth, it's fleeting. It's not fulfilling, right? And so what the pandemic taught me is I lost everything, and I cut everything off, my cable, everything. And the only thing that I was left with was my cell phone and my depression, because this was during the pandemic, right?
Yep.
The future was unknown. And here I am in my late 50s, facing the fear of starting over again, with nothing, with all this debt. And my belief back then was life just happens to you and you deal with it, right? And later on in life, I felt that you are the creator, the director, the actor of your own life. You don't like your life, you rewrite your script. Now, I heard that, and at that time, it resonated with me, but only negatively, because I was like, yeah, give me a break, right? That you can think money and it shows up. You can think success, you can think love, and it shows up. And I was like, no, right? And so I had to make a decision. I was super depressed. And, I didn't have great thoughts about the future, as most millions of Americans had. And so I had to make a decision at that time: get busy living or get busy dying. And I'm going to put 110%. I have no other choice. I need to make this happen.
Okay.
And so, to answer your question, that was the impetus. That was the spark for me to start mindset practices as well as affirmation therapy. And I started to apply that. And things started to change. And I started to see results. And I was like, what? And often I would say, did I make that happen, or did that just happen?
I
Right?
love that. Yeah.
And I really chalked it up for coincidence back then, because that was my belief that life just
Well,
happens to you.
I mean, James, it's because like what I'm hearing is that you really kind of set out to prove it a little bit wrong.
Right. Well, I had no,
Yeah, you had no choice.
But
But
I would also add that
yeah.
coincidence is God's way of being anonymous.
Oh,
right.
I love that. That's hot. That's love it.
Yeah,
You know
that
what,
is
James?
good.
This is rock star. How many of you out there? I'm sure that you're resonating with this, James. I resonate with this. I had to start all over again completely, and I understand that it was this sort of let go, this sort
Good
of
word.
and this sort of understanding that it was time to go in a different direction, and that mindset, everything was so vital at that point. But I think that you're telling a story for all of us that we've all been in. Michelle faced some of that too during the pandemic. This was a really tough
100%.
time. But it was
Yeah.
also a time for, it was one of the massive resets and upgrades for humanity, for us to be taking a step forward and into that dynamic, beautiful space that we're all in today, which is so exciting. And you show up now You are an expert in the field, which I totally appreciate. And, you know, rather than us spend a terrible lot of time talking about your background or how you got here, let's start sparking everybody else's G vibes, because we've got questions already pouring in. And if that's okay with you, we'll just take a dive in.
Sure, absolutely.
Cool. What do you say, Michelle?
So, I mean, I can't wait to hear what people have to share and say. I want to add that, when I was reading about the author in the book, James, it was really moving for me to basically be looking at our history together unfolding on paper. I've read countless spiritual books, having gone to school for spiritual psychology. But when you read a friend's book where they're telling the story and you were right there witnessing it, and I'm so honored that I got to watch your transformation, because you have
Thank you.
grown leaps and bounds, James, and you continue to. And I love having friends like you and Debbie in that way, that watch inspire each other and to see each other grow. We like watch this stuff happening, and I'm like, I mean, I believe in visualization, but it was really radical to walk that process with you. This new book is a whole nother level,
Right.
and honestly, like, also like the exercises, there's stuff we did together. So it's like he's not making this stuff up. Like, we were doing it and playing with it together. And the exercises were so fun to read, because I was like, oh my gosh, this shit really works. I mean, I'm so excited for my clients
Absolutely.
now, and it's easy to integrate. It's fun to do. And I have to say, one of the things I love the most about you is your childlike nature, and your want always to be imaginative and like visualize things outside the box. So like, this is growth. This is good. I see Jessica's name come up. It's enough out of me. You know how much I love you. You know how much I support you. I just want to put it out there, to others. It's wonderful to create, a network of friends that, you get to grow and learn and love.
Right,
So, thank
absolutely. But before we step into some questions, if I can just kind of preface it on what I learned in learning from other manifestation coaches, is that the key was not thinking of positive thoughts. I want love, I want money, I want these things. It was the feeling.
Yes.
And what you feel, you become. It's the currency that you use to accelerate the law of attraction. It's not thinking. And the reason for that, what I learned earlier, is that the average person has about 50,000 thoughts a day.
Mm-hmm.
And of those thoughts, most of them, unfortunately, are negative, self-deprecating, and self-sabotaging thoughts in our head. And we're battling that every single day. And that's normal. That's healthy. And the reason why that's healthy is because hunter-gatherer ancestors of survival. It's our DNA. It's called a negative bias. And unfortunately, our mindset hasn't evolved the blessings that surround us right now. So one of the questions that you're going to raise, how do we break bad habits and create new habits? Because look, Aristotle said it best. He says, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. I'm going to say that again. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Your habits are everything. They propel you to success, or they sabotage you every step of the way. And so in this book, I teach you how to develop habits to live your life, not waiting for something or someone before we can start feeling rich, happy, loved, and abundant.
Mm-hmm.
How do we feel that now? Because as I said, that's the currency that you use to pay for accelerating what you want to attract in your life. And once you feel it, you become it. It becomes real. It's exciting that you can walk through your life and live as though you're a millionaire, heck, a billionaire. And so what I was doing early on is, because of that premise that I learned it's your feelings, I started experimenting and writing down feelings, thoughts, from taking an ordinary situation, a routine, and turning it into an opportunity to be extraordinary, where I can literally imagine myself in the shoes of a millionaire and a billionaire and have that same feeling. Every time you feel, attract more of the things that you want. And you know, Debbie, the importance of gratitude. It is everything. It's the holy grail of, turning a negative into a positive. And how do we develop those little microscopic gratitude habits? And I'm going to talk about that in chapter 3. But let's go ahead and take some of those questions.
I want to just like surmise that, like I'm hearing you, and it's like, um, what I embody creates my new character. As I embody those feelings and actually actualize it and manifest with it, it actually, that's that becomes who I be. Like how I show up is my character, not what we think. Sometimes yes, our thoughts becomes it, but if I can take right actions into whatever it is I want to be about, then that is what's so like,
I totally
100%.
agree.
I learned is how to become magnetic. And that's the key, right? Because there was a study, I'm an MIT scientist, on that each one of us has an aura that we have a frequency that leaves our body, and it comes from our heart, our chakra of our heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they measured this vibration, this frequency, this aura, and it extends 150 feet from our body, right? Now, we know this feeling and we can detect it with other people when they enter a room. It's called the it factor, right? Someone has it, and most celebrities have it. And often this aura is our essence of how we attract the things in our life. How we feel is what we become. Once you become magnetic, you become a super attractor. And that's the key of living a successful life, is no matter how much money is in your bank account, how many struggles you have, you can live the life that you love, not tomorrow, you can do it right now. And so that's what Magnetic Habits is all about, is teaching you tiny little steps that you can implement to feel rich right now.
Which I love that. Here we go.
Hi, James. It's Jessica here with your book. Absolutely love this book. I came up with 3 questions that I'd like to ask you. The first one is, what is your favorite tool for inspiration in life to be happy? Wow. 2, what inspires you in your personal life? 3, what person in your life inspired you to become motivated to help others? I find that when you repeat affirmations to yourself, that it helps your self-esteem and your self-confidence, repeating the self-affirmations.
And did you think it's a book that you could actually?
I think
practical?
I can because I can read this kind of book, definitely, because it's not a hard read. It's a very easy read.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I really like that about this book, and I think that you have a lot to offer and very inspirational, and I wanted to thank you. Okay, perfect.
Seattle Spiritual Foundation on YouTube. You'll see it.
Yes.
Love you.
Thank you, Jessica.
Great questions. So let's answer the last one and work our way up. So do affirmations work to help build your self-esteem? And yes, but what I found is affirmations are hard because we're competing with so many negative thoughts, right? And so our subconscious has a bias to run automatically. 85 to 90% of all our thoughts and habits are automatic. And during the day, your subconscious and your brain is so busy processing that when you say affirmations, they're good, but they're not heard. So the best way to empower affirmations is to feel them. Is your feelings and your emotions are the key. As I said, what you feel, you become. It becomes real and becomes heard, right? Because our feelings are powerful. As I talked about that aura that we have around us, our thoughts are discounted. Our thoughts are not heard. And so, yes, saying affirmations are important, but the key is to amplify that, magnify it, and make it magnetic and feel whatever it is that affirmation is, right? Whatever it is that you want to attract. If you want to say, I am love, or I want to be loved, feel love, right? In fact, put it into action. I'm going to give you 2 examples that I thought were interesting. Someone actually wanted to manifest a vacation. They didn't have any money and they were poor. And so they really wanted to go to a place, a destination. And so what they did is they took action and they bought a rollaway carry luggage thing, and they would carry it with it empty around with them.
No way.
And so they put that into action, and guess what? Things started to show up. Opportunities started to display because their belief, their feeling was that they were on vacation. Mm-hmm. The other person wanted a horse, a prized horse. And so they bought a horse bridle, a saddle in their bedroom and looked at it every single day. And there's countless stories of taking action and feeling it into existence. The other question was, who inspires me for the motivation? Now, of course, I did a lot of research and writing, and there's a lot of great, manifesting coaches, Brian Tracy, Earl Nightingale, Tony Robbins. There's a ton of them. And the one thing that I love is that I pick up something, but I make it my own, right?
I love that. That's so cool.
And the most inspiring person is not someone else. It's you, Jessica. You are the most inspiring person, because if you can take these habits and start saying, I'm grateful and thankful every moment, every hour, every day, you will inspire yourself. You will become your greatest coach. You will become your greatest victor, and you will become a super attractor. And so the first question was, what's the most powerful aspects and strategies that I can implement? And we talked a little bit about those. And that was, like I said, microscopic gratitude every day, every minute. I mean, get granular, be amazed on the dividends that it pays. And the other thing is, I am magnetic. Everywhere you go, everything that you want to go your way, no matter what it is, start practicing, start experimenting, start developing the habits in my book. For example, you want to feel wealthy and attract wealth. If that's your goal, start acting it, start feeling it. In one of the chapters, I talk about how to feel rich now. And these are the habits that you can put into place and practice. Save up enough money, go on a solo date, dress to the nines like you're rich before you take yourself out. Order an Uber, right? Save your money once a week, once a month, once a year, whatever it is that you can afford. And I want you to visualize that you're a millionaire, a billionaire. You're sitting back, you have your private driver, he's taking you to a restaurant. Now, you don't have to eat at the restaurant. You can make a healthy meal at home, right? Nourish your body, save money, and then just go for the dessert, because it's your emotions, right?
I love it.
It's senses. In sales, when I was going through sales courses and stuff, when I was early in my career as a sales technologist, they teach me to always bring chocolate to my customers. And the reason why chocolate was so important is because it's Pavlovian. It stimulates a sensory, a feeling. When you touch sweets, you think, my sales rep, right? It works. That's how powerful sensations and emotions are, right?
Yeah.
I want you to feel that embodiment of wealth. I want you to feel like a millionaire. Heck, I want you to feel like a billionaire, because you're feeling no different than what a billionaire would feel. Sit down, close your eyes, and really marinate on the flavor of the tiramisu or the white chocolate truffle or whatever it is that you're ordering. And then I want you to say, wow, what I'm experiencing right now is no different than I had $100 billion or $0 in my bank account. That feeling that you use to accelerate the law of attraction. The more that you do that, the more that you feel it, the more that you become it, the more that you start to attract it. Over time, you live a life that you absolutely love without a doubt. It doesn't matter if you get your $1 million. What matters is living in the present and talking about the present in gratitude. And I'll leave with this and I'll end with this because I don't know how much time we have. But my late mother, she was amazing. One of the things she said to me when I was young is she said, son, she goes, the key to living a life that you love is living in the present with gratitude. That's why they call it a gift. And I'll never forget that. And at the time, I was a kid. I was like, yeah, right. Later on, as I wrote this book and dedicated this book and many of my books to her wisdom, it's so powerful and it's so true. F the future. The future is unknown. The future is fearful. The past you can't do anything about. What you can do is live present with gratitude. The blessings that we don't see, take for granted. You step into that gratitude, you become a super attractor.
I love it. Well, we're about almost 15 minutes past our time, but that's okay. We can do that because we want to control it. So, in the very darkest of a room, a spark can be seen. Doesn't matter how dark a room is. The dark cannot overpower even the most microscopic amount of light. You will see it.
Amen.
What you're looking for, everybody, is your spark, that thing. And that is found through all of these microscopic processes in your book. If you want to ignite your life, then do yourself a favor, buy the book. Start the practices. There's a lot of different ones in there, a lot of different tools, so you can pick and choose what's going to work for you and what you like and what you don't like. And I want to thank everybody for showing up today. And Michelle, what do you have to leave everyone with?
Well, I did want to ask you one question, James. A lot of these tools or things you've already integrated and you've been doing, but after writing the book, after putting it all together and getting it out there, and I know it's soon still because you just put it out there, but like, what do you feel the shift? What's the greatest shift that's come out of putting this book together for you in terms of your growth, your inner wealth, your joy from this?
Great question. So, as I said, my journey began. You are the director, the creator, the writer, the actor of your own movie. You don't like your life, rewrite your script. And as I said before, I didn't believe that. The greatest takeaway that I've had through this experience in writing the book, and yes, it's only been less than a couple of months since publishing the book, and I've had overwhelming reviews and people experiencing their best life now. And it's amazing, but I realized in my journey, and I realized I'm becoming magnetic, that you do have the power to create your reality, that you are the creator, the director, you are the actor, the script writer, and you can rewrite your life to go your way, not some of the time, but most of the time. And when it does, you become magnetic and you become a super attractor. So that's the key. You are a creator.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's beautiful.
you.
I love that for you. I love that for everyone. What a gift, right? I mean, so encouraging, so enlightening, so joy. I wish I could be there
She was
with
so overwhelmed, she got cut off.
Just,
Her magnetic energy. I love that.
I love that. Well, everybody,
Let's type in that song right now from Olivia Newton-John. I'm electrified.
everybody have a fantastic night. Thank you
and
so
share.
much.
You don't have to have money to share a gift. This is a really good gift. And then they can get something from it too. And then it's just a ripple effect, you guys. So what's the name of this show on Wednesdays called
Wealthy Wellness Wednesdays.
Wealthy Wellness.
Love
So
it.
you inspired the name of this show for Wednesdays,
Yes.
James. Just
Totally.
saying.
Thank
Because
you.
she's like,
Love it.
let's think of a name for this Wednesday show now. I'm like, okay, what could it be?
Thank you all for watching. I'm going to go ahead and